Hello and welcome to another set of turns of Dominions 5. I am the False God. We are playing today as Baratos in our Disciples game. Jump in on turn 34. More stuff from Achaka, more griffins. We attacked in golem range. Lose that bird that I mentioned that we could have saved, but I didn't because didn't play well. Went ahead and picked off a PD stack there. Achaka has a little fight against Moria. We'll go ahead and watch this. He's got a bunch of these spider riders, and then lizards attacking into barbs, and one Nemedian champion who has regen. The web's doing a little bit of work. Kind of webbed our own guys though as well. Not quite where you want to be. It's really nice. The spiders gaining access to that fire while moving thing lets them do that web while getting into position for the attack rear. So, lost a lot of lizards, and one spider got sent home. But, picked off all these barbs and this champion, so very worth it. We go ahead and get another province. And Achaka holds them back again. Nice plus 1,300 gold, and we're starving in Livenmark. Ooh, I think might be next turn. I think it's gonna be next turn. There's the game stales for everybody. There was some kind of here's what it is, and I think it'll be next turn. Someone was trying. This is not a clockwork game, and someone wanted like a 1 hour extension. The host wanted a 1 hour extension. So he put in the timer to 1 hour, but he did it too late. He did it just after the turn rolled. And so it set the next turn's timer to an hour. And then everyone was like, well, I guess we'll leave it. So we're going to starve this army twice. In classic False God fashion, our troops do not believe in eating. So, bit of a whoopsie there. But we are going to attempt to move on to Copos, and then do a little bit more raiding, get our side of the world back in shape. We didn't look at the graphs last turn. That's my bad. So you can see in provinces, Moria is still the largest, and we're still the smallest of the viable parties that aren't Hinnom. So we've got some work to do to try and recover our position still. We're alive, but we're by no means out of the woods. We're kind of middling in forts, very low in income, very low in gem income. I haven't had a lot of time to search. And it's been dangerous, not really started blood yet. Research is, we're right in the pack. So our army went up a bit this turn. Probably a bunch more griffins. So we really need to win this war, take this fort back, and then try and get some gains. Otherwise we could be in trouble. We can see that now the barbarians are sieging this down, but Moria has reasserted himself here. And we are in a bit of trouble. I also don't remember what turn it is, but Moria, the player, is eventually going to sub out because of real life issues. Don't think that's happened just yet, but it will happen eventually. Okay, let's go to 35. And I don't think there's like a message or anything, and I didn't write down what turn it happened, so it is what it is there. All right, we once again go ahead and succeed on a push with that. We lose to a Bane and a bunch of whites. We lose to birds. Here, this is what I was talking about. I should have been doing on that other turn, is sending in the Great Hawk with a bunch of these griffins. Griffins are just a lot tankier. It's got a wound. You know, they've got 3 attacks. They got 44 hit points. And the undisciplined doesn't really matter against PD. So I think this is a better use for them. If we need to, we can, you know, fly them in to help us out later, but I think that's a better use of their time. We lose more Blackhawks. We go ahead and march back onto Copos, which we succeed on. Here we have a big attack from Moria into Lanka. Pause for a second here. So Lanka's got a bunch of these quickness demons with extra blood slaves. Presumably we're going to see a bloodlust cast. They've got a Sabbath forming with some miscellaneous chaff in the front. And here we've got a bunch of sacreds, a lot of experience stars on this group with a great sword of sharpness, ring of the warrior, stonebird king, and a ton of Nemedians. Plus some miscellaneous other giants. So I see group barkskin, blur, blessing. They're going to Sabbath up. A lot of blessing. Interesting. Protective winds. Personal regen enlarge. It's interesting if they were going to Sabbath up, they didn't just wait and do divine blessing. But either way, we're going to get into the combat here. And with this quickness and the heroism, I mean the heroism is doing at this precise moment, I don't know, let's see, how much chaos do we have? Yeah, a lot of chaos. I would expect these guys to kill these elves. Probably not super efficiently because of the glamour, but there goes Bloodlust. Kind of late. But it went off. I expect them to do even better, though, against the giants. Yeah, these sacreds are just going to get crushed. These guys have a ton of damage. There's a Raksharaja here. As well, that's an expensive mage to commit to your front line with no gear. Although he is of course pretty tough. There's the king. He's right up in the thick of it. But the Nemedians are still doing okay. They're getting whittled away, but the king is about to die. And there are the imps. A little late on the imps. But it's ultimately an entire stack wipe for Femoria. Who, just like in the real term, right, lost 100% of his stuff. And he killed some Ganas, some Long Dead, one Kalamuka, and 3 Palankashas. So a huge win for Lanka. It's going to take a ton of turns of the Fomorian recruitment out because they are 2 command points per. So this is at minimum 3 and change if they were a 10 dom pretender. And the king obviously counts in there as well. Commoners can't beat that guy. Some luck. Cold +1, and we're gonna go ahead and storm Copos. There's nothing in here, is what I believe is the case. We're gonna move up more troops to defend Bergamum, necessary. We're gonna go ahead and start raiding across the river again with this squad. Try and do a little raid with this squad. We have the full 50. These guys are going to retreat because I don't think there's much that they're going to achieve here. They can't beat this stack. And we're going to try and take Golem range with another cast of Call of the Winds. Down here, Machaka has marched this great big army. I should have mentioned this before. Sorry, cookies. He's marched this great big army kind of into Hinnom territory. He could either head down towards Hinnom proper, or I think he's going to move to Midland and try and take this off the board. It doesn't look like it's very well supported. He's got magic weapons, so he'll beat these. I think he'll beat these whites pretty easily. And take one off the board for Femoria. Yeah, flat turn for Femoria. Kind of not a ton of movement. Hinnom's still struggling. Abyssia has a bit of a resurgence here. And you can see Lanka takes the hit for that. Abyssia not going down without a fight. We're going to finish our evocation, so we're going to be able to add Thunderstrike to our roster. We also can do, Fireball, Freezing Mist, Magma Bolts, Fire Cloud. The Brides can do a nice little Fire Cloud. So a lot of great stuff getting added from the evocation path for us. And then we're going to go Conjuration 5 for big elementals, I think primarily, and Contact Draconians. We're not there. Contact Draconians is a great spell in Dominion 6. You just get a lot of value for your gems, and the longer you have them alive, the chief's alive, the more value you get. Just keep making new Draconians. So I really like that as a source of spending air gems. And that's really great. Raven Feast is very good too. The problem with Raven Feast, of course, is that getting an Air 4 tends to be really difficult. It's basically like some Kalums. Fascia gets an Air 4. I think Femoria can get an Air 4. Or like a God turn. We are lucky enough to have an A4. But this can turn your turn into, making... You spend just the three air gems, and I've had casts, I'd say the average cast is usually between 10 and 12, but I've gotten up to 18 death gems before off a single cast. So you are turning that mage turn into a pretty good gem return. It pairs really nicely with blood hunting. If you're doing a big tall hunt, you will patrol out a ton of unrest and get a lot of death gems that way. We're not underwater yet, so Voice of Tiamat is not critical. Like I said, the elementals are all nice. Some of these others have potential uses. Winter Wolves are sometimes okay. We're gonna be able to add Howl with our God, which is nice. The weighting change also makes Howl a lot better. Not as much for us because we don't have anybody big yet. We don't have our Melkarts online or anything. But in general, right, in the past, Howl had a tendency to sometimes cause you to lose fights. If they had like a thug or a super combatant, the wolves just take up all the slots and then it goes to time. And with weighting now, you can expect your counter thug to get in the fight a lot more often. It also gives us Summon Lilith, which we're going to try and use later, but it's going to be a while before we see that one. And it's going to get changed mid-game here as well. So let's go ahead and go to 36. Try and grind through whatever Femoria's got. Successful there. Now this is that thug we saw earlier. Now he's got a champion's medal, which gives him luck and quickness. So he's got luck, quickness, regen, just coming from the bless. He's got a stone bird for all those extra attacks. He's got 4 attacks coming off this Gloves of the Gladiator. He has enormous strength, which is not super relevant because he already had a ton of strength. This is an extremely scary thug. And he's got personal mist form, skeletal body. The Holy Avenger sometimes does stuff. But he's just gonna... He doesn't delete people as fast as you might think, because those gloves, while they are 4 attacks, are 4 attacks against the same person only. But Mistform is going to mean that anyone who doesn't have magic damage is going to have a real problem dealing with that guy. We got a Cavern of Glowing Moss, which I think is a fire gem. Yeah. Way to go, Cookies. Taking over, I think that is that fort that he just went ahead and attacked. Our Hawks die running into a group of enemies, but our Griffins do okay. And we'll go ahead and watch as we storm Copos. Don't think we do anything too fancy here. I tried to have these guys, because I wasn't thinking about it very well. I tried to have these guys get boxed out and get told to hold on, but that doesn't work because they're size 6. So they just waded right through. But we're mostly going to cast a lot of Mistform. The Lightning Bolt we've got. This is Sulfur Haze. Go ahead and light all these dudes on fire. But ultimately, there's not much here. So, not too much. This Sulfur Haze is doing more damage to us than it is to the enemy. by a pretty good margin. But didn't end up getting us. I don't remember if I castled those silver hazes in the real game like that. I certainly might have. But we only lost 2 units. Killed 1 druid. And we've got our fort back. We'll lose a bunch of Dominion. And Dire will scare off a were hyena. So we're back in control of Copos. We've got our raiding group here. We're gonna raid here. The army's gonna move back to Livenmark. The stale must be coming later. I know we starve here in Livenmark. It's gonna happen again for 2 turns in a row. But I guess not quite yet. Our Sayir stack is getting close. We might be able to kill the. I was hoping that the Sayir might be able to kill this guy. He's not unkillable. He's just difficult to kill. And resistant to, like trying to counter thug him is going to be fairly difficult because if he just turns on your counter thug is going to die. But so we're gonna hide in our fort from him for a little while as we march our army back down south. Femoria has now lost the lead again for provinces. Banheim has moved up, and we're gonna keep trying to push in and make that hurt. We're doing another Storm Drake. I don't know if I thought I could Storm Drake this guy, but you can't really well. I might be able to stun him if I got really lucky, but I think that was what I was doing. I think that was the idea, although I don't think I'm going to end up doing it. I am pretty sad. I could have started blood hunting a lot sooner. I had been, before I'd been kind of throwing everything into the fight, and we've been getting raided. Our cap got sieged, but that was a little while ago. This guy and this guy could have moved somewhere else, maybe over here or over here, and started to get our blood hunting operations going. So definitely a missed opportunity. Again, I make too many of these. A miss there as well. You can see I did make the priest pretty much everywhere so that they could get into a fight as needed, whereas the sages don't, and the mage pilots don't really either. They could do lightning bolts if they're going with our stormcaster. But I guess we didn't really talk about exactly what we had here, but it's mostly just mist form all the way down. So we're gonna move back, try and take him out. We'll go ahead, we'll do 37 real quick too. All right, I do send blood. I do send stuff to Machaka as well, but I guess we don't see it in the messages. Conquered. Hinam takes some PD. We go ahead and conquer that. We conquer this. We get death gems, which is nice. Magic, which is nice. Unrest, which is not nice. In our capital, so that is very costly. There's a plague. There's heavy snowfalls. So that's all not great. The Fomorian king is now missing. We don't know where he has gotten to. We're going to do dark knowledge here. We need to get a mage up to Copos, but I haven't done that yet. We're going to try and do another 3 raids down here. And under siege, under siege. There's a Fomorian king, but there just aren't as many of those scary Fomorian giants anymore. They just have been whittled away in too many engagements. So I think Fomoria is kind of just, yeah, he's now almost at the bottom. He's just running out of steam. He's been fighting, damn near everybody. So he has definitely held on as long as he could. And I am quite sure that it was a real life thing that caused him to draw away. He did not leave because it was going poorly. But he does still maintain. He lost a fort. That's us taking Copos. But He's just a little bit ahead of us in research. But you can see his army graph is at a new low, whereas we are rising. Our star is ascending as we just make tons of junk. She's bringing these gems to the rest of the army. I didn't put all these gems on her just for her to cast Mistform. She's gonna group up, and we're gonna keep looking for that king. Now it is once again summer, so I once again had an opportunity, or as we go into summer, I could have marched this army across the river, but now it would definitely get trapped over there. Well, it wouldn't definitely get trapped over there. This has Niflheim Dominion, and this is certainly being influenced by it. So it's possible that this stays open, but it just makes me nervous. Makes me nervous to send my troops over a border that I can't pass without help. So we're not going to do it. We're going to keep trying to take all this stuff down here and just raiding on this side of the river. At least for now. So, all right. I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one here. So I don't think there's anything interesting we're doing. Dark Knowledge, like I said. Yeah, that's it. Go ahead and call this one here. We really need to get our house in order, though, in terms of site searching. We're done terribly. Very minimal site searching. We need to get our blood hunting online. And while we did get attacked and we have been fighting it off, we definitely had opportunities to do better that I did not take advantage of. It's a skill that everybody can always improve on, but is making sure you're not too focused on like the warrior fighting, that you neglect sort of the home front and what you could be doing back there. So anyways, thanks everyone for joining me, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a great day.